This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we're dealing with a Miele dishwasher that is not running as well as it should, and we're going to be working on the capacitor of the circulation motor. So we're going to make sure we disconnect the power, and we're going to get to the circulation motor capacitor by first removing the dishwasher from the cabinet. I'm just testing it right now, and the drain function is working well. When I start the cycle, it should go to drain, and that's doing good. Just want to make sure everything's working right. And now I'm going to remove the spray arm by just lifting it straight up. We're going to remove the triple filter by moving the handle and then pulling it straight up. And then we need to get the baskets out of the dishwasher, and also we need to drain the water out of the sump. I'm just going to lift up the top utensil basket, put it up on the counter, and then I'll pull out the middle basket. That just comes right out. You don't have to remove any pins or anything, it just lifts out. We'll lift up the bottom basket, and then we just have to get water out of the sump because we're going to turn the dishwasher on its side and we don't want a bunch of water to leak out. I'm just using a little turkey baster to pull that water out of the area where the triple filter sits. And we won't be able to get 100% of the water, but we want to get most of it. And we can pull the dishwasher out of the cabinet. Usually Miele gives you a long enough fill hose and drain hose where you don't have to remove them. In this instance, I did have to remove the drain hose because it wasn't quite long enough. Now I'm taking the little legs in the front and I'm turning them to my right, and that's going to push them up into the dishwasher and make the top of the dishwasher come down so I can slip it out from underneath the cabinet. Usually they're also held in by a couple of screws, usually just Phillips head screws, either on the side or on the top. So I'm removing the ones on the top. There's one in the upper left-hand corner that goes straight up toward the countertop, and one on the other side too. So sometimes there's no screws holding it in, sometimes there's as many as 4. Usually there's just 2 here at the top. So once we get those out, we can gently wiggle the dishwasher out from the cabinet. And remember, you do want to make sure it's unplugged. You want to make sure that you have enough length for the intake hose and the drain hose, so you can pull it all the way out. So on this one I got to disconnect the drain hose because we didn't have a quite long enough one, so I'm just going to spin it off of the disposer, give me a little bit more room. But usually they give you enough where you don't have to do these disconnections. Do make sure you unplug it. You're going to pull it out from underneath the cabinet. I'm just wiggling it back and forth, and I'm going to set it down on its side. I like to set it on its right side because that exposes the motor a little bit better. That's kind of the area where I need to work. So if I'm facing the dishwasher, the right side. And then we just have to get the bottom plate off. It's just held in by 4 Phillips head screws. So I'm taking these little glides off of the feet. They just pull right off. And then there's 4 Phillips head screws in each corner. They're pretty short. I'm just going to zip those off. And then I can pull off the drip pan, and I'll be able to get to all the components I need to work on. So this is often what we want to do on the Miele dishwasher to get to the heater relay, the drain motor, the circulation motor, the capacitor. So all the important parts are hiding underneath this little pan. It's pretty easy to get off though. When I took it off, I did notice there was a lot of evidence of a leak that had occurred at some time. It wasn't wet, but there was a lot of dry detergent. You can see it right there. So there's probably a leak going on somewhere. So I'm going to remove 2 Phillips head screws here on the back. And this is going to allow me to take out a module that's kind of in my way to get to the capacitor. So I'm not going to disconnect this module, I'm just going to pull it out. And that round thing in the back is the capacitor. Got to be careful because that thing carries a lot of voltage. I'm going to use my pliers. You can use a wrench or crescent wrench to unloosen this screw, and then we're going to spin it off. Make sure you don't touch the terminals of the capacitor because it can hold a lot of voltage. It could be dangerous. You can get rid of this voltage by taking a screwdriver or something metal and putting it between the two terminals, and that would discharge all of that voltage. So I'm doing that right here. I'm just putting a screwdriver between the two, and then it's okay to touch. And these spade connectors are a little bit hard to get off, so I'm going to use some needle nose pliers to be able to get these off. Here's what the new one looks like. You can get these from Miele, USA. Here's the part number. And just call them, give them your model number and tell them you need the run capacitor for the circulation motor. And I think this comes in at about 50 bucks. Not that bad. So if your circulation motor tends to cut off and start and stop a bunch of times, most likely this capacitor is getting weak. You may have blockage also on the impeller. It's good to check, but usually it's just this capacitor is getting weak. So I'm putting on the new spade connectors onto the terminals of the new capacitor, and then basically I'll just put everything back in reverse order. I'm going to put the capacitor back through, just checking a few parts here. So I'm going to push it back in through the hole, and then I'll just put that nut back on to tighten it. But yeah, having it on the right side is nice because then it puts the motor up closer to where it's easier for you to work on, especially for the capacitor. So we got that into position, and we're going to put on that little nut. It's okay to touch these terminals because this one is brand new. It's never been energized. But one that's been used, always be careful with capacitors. Make sure you discharge them by putting something metal between the terminals, and make sure that you're not holding that metal, but you're protected by plastic or a lot of rubber. So we're putting on the nut. We're going to get that tight. It doesn't have to be super tight. We're just trying to hold it in position against vibration. We're going to put that module back in. It's just held in by two small Phillips head screws. Essentially you're done. You just need to put the drip pan back on, and then we're going to reinstall the dishwasher back in. So when I was looking at this, I did see a lot of old detergent, like there was a leak. My feeling is that probably the circulation motor at a part called the partition seal has a leak. So I think for this dishwasher I'm going to order the partition seal kit from Miele, USA, and replace that. Pretty easy to do. But if I don't replace it, I think the drip pan's going to keep getting full of water, and it's going to keep having problems. It's probably just a slow leak, but it comes out of this little hole right here underneath where my finger is, underneath the circulation motor. And that means that you have a leak of your partition seal. And then you can just get the partition kit. Just tell Miele, USA, your model number, and say you need a partition kit. They're pretty cheap. There's a video we have too. It's got the Fix It Guy YouTube channel that shows how to put in the new partition kit. This, by the way, is the Incognito dishwasher. We're going to put the 4 Phillips head screws back on to hold on the drip pan. We'll put the little slides back on the bottom of the feet. We'll get the dishwasher back on its feet, get it installed in the cabinet, put our baskets back in. And the reason we're doing the capacitor again is we noticed that you can hear the circulation motor keeps turning on and off. It should do that a few times now and then, but if it happens about every 10 seconds, your capacitor is just getting weak and the motor can't really do its job. So we just want to make sure that we get this dishwasher back in really evenly, especially with the incognito, because you want to try to get the front of the dishwasher to match the cabinetry. So we're going to use a pair of pliers here to spin the legs back down. We're trying to make them, we're going to go to our left, and that's going to make the legs longer and push the dishwasher up into the cabinet. As it runs, I'm just staring in underneath. I have the front little panel removed so I can see if I notice any leaks during operation. You would probably notice this not during fill and not during drain, but during the time that it's supposed to circulate. It may actually take a while, but you may notice some dripping. That would mean that the partition seal is going out, and they go about probably 10 years and they just wear out. And when you replace them, you might get another 10 years. So we're going to put that front inspection plate back in. Make sure it's still turned off. So you don't have power, you want to unplug it again before you put this plate back on. And just clip it in, and then there's 2 screws that hold it in. Usually the front cabinet's kind of in the way when you do this procedure, so I often will open the door. When I open the door all the way to 90 degrees, then I have a little bit more room where I can put the screws in. So I'll pull the door all the way open, and then I'll put in those 2 screws. And the only thing left after that is to put in the screws at the top that hold it into the cabinet, and also to put on the toe kick panel at the bottom, which is held in by 2 screws. This is what the inspection panel looks like. And we'll put that panel back in, we'll plug it in, and then give it a try, make sure everything's working. There we go, a couple screws to hold that in. And give it a test. It's back to working great. So thanks so much for watching our video, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance. Thanks a lot.